Time now for an in-depth look at the market news on this Friday, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for making time today.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Well, U.S. stocks were up on Thursday yet again. Unemployment claims have fallen, contributing to that. The Nasdaq rising to 11,000 for the first time. What's the story in the global markets?
Yes, as you said, U.S. market continued its rise as Dow Jones was up about 0.7%, S&P was up about 0.6%, and Nasdaq was up 1%. Most of the days, U.S. market was kind of weak, but after the news of the U.S. unemployment benefits, the market recovered. The number came in at 1.186 million last week, which is the lowest since the lockdown started, and well below the expectation of 1.423 million. Now, the traders are waiting for the monthly non-farm payrolls reports for July. It is expected to show a net gain of about 1.2 million or so. Overall, the U.S. market is watching closely in terms of whether the economy would be able to continue to show recovery in the future. It seems that, though, the Wall Street seems to be quite optimistic that U.S. policymaker will reach an agreement on a COVID-19 relief package by the end of this week. The President Donald Trump said that he expects to sign orders on Friday or Saturday, enhance the unemployment benefits and imposing the payroll tax holidays. All in all, it basically benefited the global equity market, and most of the market showed sizable rise. Also, it affected positively on Korean market today.
Right, here in Korea, stocks started out stronger, touching a new yearly high during the session, and then closing up about 0.4%. What was driving that trade today?
Yes, as you said, Korean market has risen by about 0.4% for KOSPI, and also Nasdaq was up 0.4% as well. It continues to be the highest level in the last 2 years. As you said, it peaked in the morning, and it kind of declined slightly, but overall the rising trend seems to be continuing. If you look at the market recovery, it's quite astonishing that if you look at the Nasdaq, it is one of the highest rise from the bottom if you compare to any other indices in the world. That's because the bio industry seems to be doing quite well because of their recovery that we're seeing in terms of the COVID-19 issues. All in all, everybody's looking for the continuation of the money supply growth rate, as well as the kind of recovery that we are seeing in Korea, particularly in regards to the domestic consumption side due to the government boosting measures. We think that on a valuation level, KOSPI seems to be still fairly attractive. As for the Nasdaq, it seems to be a little bit expensive in the valuation territories. And given the fact that it has a huge percentage of bio-related stocks and that it has risen significantly as it is, we are becoming a little bit cautious. But nevertheless, overall, Korean market seems to be fairly cheap in terms of valuation relative to the global market. Of course, with the U.S. market continue to show rising trend, we think that there will be more room for KOSPI to rise. Also, Korean won stabilizing at below 1,200 won to dollar rate. Foreign investors' interest towards Korea remains to be fairly high in the future.
Well, Mr. Yu, the pandemic's been threatening the survival of many airlines around the world. In Korea, the airlines have moved quickly to switch their focus to cargo service, which it turns out has put Korean Air and Asiana Airlines back into profit for the second quarter. Tell us about that and your outlook for the industry.
Right. This is the pure example of how Korea is tackling the incident of COVID-19 well relative to other economies in the world. This sector, the airline sector, is one sector that I have not been recommending to investors on a global scale because of the sales numbers are coming at 95% down from the before the COVID-19. Now it is recovering a bit, but still it's well below 50% of what they used to make if you look at it on a global scale. But as you said, the Korean Air and the Asiana have done much better than most of the other airline companies, as it has shown operating profit numbers because of their skew towards the cargo businesses. Their carrier operating profit was up. It was coming in at 148.5 billion won, which is about $125 million for the April to June period. Clearly, it is a very significant growth, 95% from YOY number, and the cargo sale is rising by that much. And clearly, the focus has been quite good, and operational-wise, they're doing all the possible things that possible to make this company floatable, meaning that generating profits. If this kind of thing continues, we think that the airline business should be quite reasonably good, and it is tackling the right areas where the electronic goods, particularly the handset and memory chips, these growth rates are still very strong in that the Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix are one of the major the market share players in this business, global scale. So clearly, if you ship these the cargo business towards these goods, then they can continue to show quite strong rise year on year. So that is the one way of tackling this COVID-19 pandemic issues. And clearly, Korean airline companies are doing relatively better than most of the other countries. And we think that we can apply to this type of mentality to most of the other industries, including semiconductors and semiconductor equipment, as well as the petrochemicals and energy solution areas, also batteries and electric cars related sectors. All that is benefiting. So therefore, we think that the industry pictures, it's all relative to the global economy. So Korea seems to be quite attractive on a relative basis compared to any other countries in the world.
It's a remarkable story. All right, Mr. Yu, thank you so much for coming on today. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.